3 years later, my contract's up again, and me and Vince have another meeting after me and Eric couldn't come to agreement on what was going to happen with my contract, and had a disagreement, but went our own ways, and it worked out good for everybody. So I went to Vince again, and Vince says to me, "What's it going to take?" Now I've already got a signing bonus. I already got a big guaranteed contract. So now I'm asking for a bigger signing bonus and a bigger guaranteed contract. And I go, "I want a guaranteed contract." He goes, "Done." I go, "I want a signing bonus." "How much?" I told him. "Done." And he goes, "Are we clear? Are we good?" I go, "Well, there's one more thing I want." And he goes, "What's that?" And I said, "I want my wife to fly everywhere I fly." Now, not even bringing her into the business, just
right.
I didn't want to get divorced. I watched everybody getting divorces.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out for marriages, right? And we just got married a couple of years before this, have a great marriage at the time. And he said, "Boy, I've never heard that one before."
Yeah.
"You want your wife to come on the road with you?" And I go, "Yes, she flies everywhere I fly." And he goes, "That's going to get you here. I'll do it." Okay. So now I go home, and it's time for me to sign my contract and go over this new creative thing that they have for me. Because, they were thinking they were going to get some type of Johnny B. Bad character, but they couldn't because the lawsuits are going back and forth with all different characters. So I'm home, and he sends me a ticket to fly to Stanford to go over my new character and sign my contract. So he sends me my plane ticket. I go and I call him up, got a cell phone number, call him up. I go, "Hey, Vince, there's only one ticket here." He goes, "What do you mean? Why do you need more?" I go, "My wife flies everywhere I fly." And he goes, "Damn." And so he goes, "All right, send him a ticket." So he sends her a ticket. And I said, "Hey, Vince, before you hang up, what about if we use my wife as a valet for me? She's really pretty and she'll do a great job." He goes, "I'm not, let's just worry about you." Okay. So we fly to New York. They pick us up in New York. We drive over to Stanford. And we walk into his office, and he looks at Rena, my wife, Sable, and he goes, "I got to put her on TV." Just like that, as soon as he saw her. So now we got this duo,
Right.
And they go over the character. They bring out these drawings that they had made of me with the costume on and everything. And Vince goes, "Whoa, what do you think of Wildman Marc Mero?" And I'm thinking, cool, what's a wild man? Like, I didn't even get it. Like, what was it, And he goes, can you do a Tarzan yell?" And I thought, I don't got a very strong voice. It breaks up if I yell loud, It's like I got a real raspy voice. So I can't really do a Tarzan yell, He goes, like a flare woo and stinger woo, And I go, no, I can't do that. And he goes, I go, "Vince, am I from the jungle? What am I?"
Right.
I had no idea what this character was, or didn't even relate to it, But I'm thinking, hey, they're the WWE machine. They obviously know something I don't know. They're not going to give me something. They're paying me all this money and bringing my wife in and giving me all the signing bonus. They're not going to give me something that's going to fail.
Right.
Oh, Conrad, I never connected with that character.
Yeah.
And because I didn't connect, the audience didn't connect. And not only that, on top of that, you're walking out with this beautiful woman that people are just going, "Look at her." What about that guy that's doing all this crazy moves and doing, flips and hurricanranas and all this stuff, and no one's even paying attention to me, So it was difficult, but I was so glad to see her get over. Because remember, I'm getting guaranteed money with whatever happens to me. I'm making the same. Not that I wanted my career to suffer, but thinking we're going to make this work or make it work. And it started getting a little better for a while. And they had me win I won the Intercontinental title in a tournament, beating Owen Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Ron Simmons. So I think, man, now they see I can work, and the career's taken off. But I never knew the backstory of what was talked about me in the dressing room, because number one, getting the first guaranteed contract, and it bothered a lot of guys. I never knew how much it bothered a lot of these guys. until later on when Mick Foley's book comes out, and here they signed for an opportunity,
Yeah.
and I get this big guaranteed contract. But I don't think anybody's upset me. I'm thinking, looking back, it's like I broke the glass ceiling.
Yeah.
Everyone gets them now. Everybody gets a guaranteed contract, but Marc Mero was the first. But at the time, nobody really wanted to work with me. Nobody really wanted to be my friend, and it was really difficult. And not only that, on top of that, I got my wife with me everywhere I go. It's not like I'm going to the bar after the matches and having a beer with the guys. I'm going back to my hotel room, hanging out with my wife.
Yeah. You can't
So,
really bond with the guys and have guy conversation if everyone's having the tiptoe because your wife is there. So,
yeah, man, it's the camaraderie of the guys that I had in WCW that I no
yes.
longer have in the WWE. So that was a really tough time. And you go into the catering room, and here you are sitting your wife, and everybody else is sitting somewhere else. And it was just very difficult, man.
And they're missing their wife.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
missing being at
Yes.
home. You're able to bring home on the road and you have a guarantee. So guys like Foley and Austin who signed for that opportunity, who had the same trajectory in terms of they were in WCW and now they're here. I get how they were a little unhappy, but in reality, it was misplaced. They shouldn't have been unhappy with you. They should have been unhappy with Vince. Like they could have negotiated that if they created that leverage. They just didn't.
Yeah.
A series of events that happen with your contract with WWE and your wife's contract with WWE. How much more complicated did your life become personally, professionally, once she was involved? I ask because I've heard guys like Rick Rude. I never heard him say this, but I've heard other wrestlers say that he would tell them, never let your wife get in the business. Keep her as far away from the business as you can. I've heard other guys that you and I know, I won't say their name, but they've said out loud many times to me, that's the number one rule in the business. Keep her away from the business. Did you feel like you were living that in that moment? It was complicating your career because she was involved. Like it came from a good place of, I want to be on the road with my wife. I don't want to fall into the same trap that so many other guys have. But now, was it working against you?
Conrad, at that time, all I was concerned about was that we're going to make enough to live the rest of our lives on. We're just
Yes.
going to bank this money because we're both doing really well. And I just signed a brand new 3-year contract with WWE. Even though my career wasn't going good, they gave me the same money for 3 more years. And then my ex-wife felt that she was being, I'm not sure.
Taken advantage of.
Yes, and she sued them for $23 million. That was what, 100 million or whatever it was at the time. I can't remember.
Crazy amount of money.
Crazy amount. And I just signed my contract. And of course, so now we've got to leave the business, and I had to leave my contract. And so I never got paid for that. Well over $1 million I left on the table that I could have had, but wanted to support her. I mean, we're going to leave together. We're going to go do our own thing. And but like you said, when you talked about never bring your wife into the business, a very valuable lesson I learned later on. Okay.